Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I just want to start with a simple idea. Life doesn't have to be overwhelming to be meaningful. Sometimes it's the smallest shifts, whether it be a new perspective, a daily ritual, a gentle reminder. Those are the ones that create the biggest transformations. That's the spirit behind A Little Book for a Better Life. I wrote this as I was giving a presentation, and I just wanted to hand something out that might change at least one life. And it's not about having all the answers or living perfectly. It's about collecting timeless, bite-sized insights that you can carry with you every day. The book is meant to feel like a pocket companion, a source of calm, clarity, and encouragement in a world that often moves too quickly. And it's something that you can read over and over anytime that you need to be reassured that it's a lot easier to be happy than you're making it. My dream for the world is simple but radical. I dream of a world where people feel safe in their own bodies and at home in their own lives. A world where health isn't about fear or restriction, but about energy, joy, and possibility. A world where community is strong, where we lift each other up instead of competing or tearing each other down. I imagine cities and homes where mindfulness, movement, and nourishing food are as natural as breathing, where science and soul work hand in hand to heal, not divide. Where instead of running ourselves into the ground, we learn to honor our nervous systems, restore our energy, and show up for life as our whole, vibrant selves. At the heart of my dream is connection, because healing doesn't happen in isolation. I want people to recognize that community is biologically necessary, that when we see each other as fellow humans on the same journey, we create a culture of compassion and resilience. If I could sum it up, my dream is for a world where health is not just the absence of illness, but the presence of love, vitality, and belonging. A world where shining inside and out isn't an exception, it's the norm. That's what A Little Book for a Better Life is about. The small lessons that together help us get closer to that kind of world. More of what the world needs, as I like to say in my podcast. Because a better life isn't about doing more. It's about living more deeply, more simply, and more intentionally. Let's jump in. This is a tiny book that I wrote, A Little Book for a Better Life, and it is intended to be the infrastructure, the foundation for living a happier and healthier life. This is just a gift from me to you, so let me preface that this is a journey for those that are determined and ready to do the work. It's only the beginning, and I'd say the beginning is the hardest part. So if you're ready, truly ready to follow the path of happiness, welcome, and I'm so glad you're here. First of all, a huge common theme is that so many people don't know what they want, and because they don't know what they want, they don't know how to get it, and actually they'll never get it because they didn't have a goal in mind. And so sitting with yourself and asking yourself your definition of success, not the one imposed upon you by your family, by society, taking that time to consciously define what it looks like when you're looking back. What are you going to be proud of yourself for pursuing in your life? Of course, it can change over time, but your definition of success is the most important thing and will help you figure out what to do next with your path. Also, you got to start now. You got to figure out what you want, and instead of waiting for tragedy to strike or illness to fall upon you, do what you can now. Use death as your teacher. Use your fear of bad things happening to instill gratitude and plant the seeds. The small changes every day that compound interest. Start now, and by the time you look back, you'll be amazed at how much progress you could make with just the little things. It's completely normal to have fears, but you have to put your purpose over your fears. Biologically, fear is actually really important for our survival, so don't knock yourself for feeling it. especially when it comes to social aspects. Of course, we're nervous socially, evolutionarily, when we were just starting out, and community was probably the most important thing to determine your survival likelihood. If you get kicked out of society, that's basically a death sentence. So feel it, acknowledge that it's normal, and let it be excitement instead of fear. Scoff at it, laugh at it. Are you kidding me? Am I going to really let that stupid little fear get in the way of my purpose that I'm here to fulfill, that I'm here to spread and help people and share my light? Heck no. Trivialize it even. Then we say the path of least regret. So we have to define our values as well as our definition of success, because when you are 80 years old on your deathbed, hopefully, you know what, let's say 100 years old on your deathbed, you're not sitting there thinking, I wish I spent more time with family. I wish I didn't work so hard. I wish I did this instead of that. I wish I followed my passion instead of what was going to make me money or was what my family approved of or society thought was better. You have to determine your own values and your own definition of success in order to fulfill this path of least regret, to be the older version of yourself and regret nothing. And if you put yourself into the shoes of that version of yourself that's almost ready to die and looking back about how stupid the little arguments were and how special the smallest memories are, what are you going to regret doing or not doing more of? And that determines your values for you. Whether it's, I wish I spent more time with my family. I wish I chose a path instead of just staying in purgatory. Anything. I wish I took better care of my health. That's a huge one. And so my goal is to help you understand yourself, create your goals, and live by the values that will bring you to those goals so that you can fulfill your purpose and have no regrets when you're on your deathbed, which is going to happen to everyone. Every one of us. So learning to love yourself and the challenge. The biggest thing that I'm sure you'll hate to hear at the beginning is that all of the best growth you will ever experience is that which comes in the discomfort, in forcing yourself to challenge yourself, to face your fears, to show yourself that you can handle it. The more you do, and the more you acknowledge that, oh, last time I was afraid, but it worked out great, and you remind yourself that you can trust yourself, that you have these skills, that you can do it, and you put yourself in the situations where you can make yourself proud. And even if at first it doesn't go as well as you wanted it to, you have to acknowledge also that practice is the only way that you're going to hit the mark. If you are in a archery contest and you have to hit a bullseye to win, are you going to fear practicing? Are you going to avoid practicing just because you're so afraid that you're not going to hit the bullseye when you practice? No, hopefully not. It's like knowing that you're not going to be good at the MCAT your first try, so you postpone studying the entire time, or you postpone doing practice questions because you're afraid to see what you get wrong, when really, that is the best way to study for the test. That is the best way to see if you're ready. That is the best way to get your brain ready to understand what the questions are asking of you. So don't fear the failure and learn to love yourself through it. It's not failure as long as you keep going. You can only fail if you stop trying, and I sincerely believe that. As long as you don't stop trying, you will eventually get there, and you'll be so proud and so glad that you didn't give up. Also, your epigenetics. This is one of my favorite branches of science, where we realize that we have more control than we thought about our genome, where we thought we were doomed to our genetic code, and we are stuck with whatever diseases and personality traits that we have, but really only 40 or so % of personality is genetic. And then you have the nature and nurture debate, and then you can nurture yourself, love yourself into being the version of yourself that you want to be. So treat yourself as if you're a character in a game. You can always turn around if you read the map wrong. You can always make it through, and you can try again, even if it's embarrassing. I promise you that no one is paying as much attention to you as you are yourself. Think about how little attention you pay to other people. And think about how if you give other people more gentleness, you will automatically assume they are doing the same for you. Say, when I'm giving a speech, of course I'm nervous, but when someone else is giving a speech, I'm thinking on their behalf, I hope they do amazing. I'm going to nod and smile so that they feel like they're doing great and they're being listened to. I hope they're not nervous. Or when they stumble, I'm like, I hope they didn't think that was a big deal because they're doing great. Or it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter in the long run. The smallest little hiccup, when you step back and look how giant life is and how you won't be thinking of that moment when you are on your deathbed. It's just easier to let go. And to let go is one of the most important things you can do to thrive, because you're not stuck. You're not stuck in old emotions. You're not stuck in the past. You're able to move on and to enjoy the present because you're not worried about something that you did and have no control over changing, and no control over the perception that other people have of what you've done. It's hilarious that we actually think we can control that. That we think we can be perfect in everyone's eyes as long as we follow what society tells us to do, but that's not true. Everybody has a collection of their own beliefs and experiences that lead them to see things the way that they do. And if you're a person that's criticizing other people while they're up on stage, odds are you're going to feel like other people are criticizing you, because we don't know how other people think. We just apply what is the norm for our brain. And the truth of that is, if you want to feel better about the world around you, you have to feel better about yourself and make your mind a nice place to be. And it's hard at first. Of course it is. But it's practice, just like the archery tournament. And if you do practice, you'll of course hit the bullseye when you get there, because you trust yourself. You know that you've done enough, and you know that you can handle it and be successful. There are lessons in everything. If you think about how small you are, it's so baffling to me, because of course, psychologically, we are the center of our own universe, but we are a collection of energies and particles on one planet in who knows how many universes. And compared to the grand scheme of things and the grand scheme of time as a whole, your life is a speck. And yes, we can use that to think, oh, then why try? Or you can use that to think compound interest. The more good people we have bringing good things into the world, the more people that choose to fulfill their purpose, you can add to that and actually have a big effect. The people that you touch in your daily life touch other people, not literally, but everybody's touching each other with their energy. And the worst thing that can happen is that you learn from something. Nobody is remembering it the same way that you do. You can't control those things, especially when they've already happened and when they haven't happened yet. So live in the present, be here now, and enjoy. Don't be afraid to practice. Don't be afraid to mess up. There's no such thing as wasting time. Say you spent 5 years in a relationship and you regret wasting time on that person. There's no such thing as wasting time, because there were lessons. You were supposed to learn all of the things that you learned. And as long as you come out with that sense of gratitude, thank goodness I learned this, I will never take this treatment again, or now I know what I don't want and what I want in a partner. And every partner you meet, you get closer and closer to understanding exactly what you need from a life partner. And so there's no such thing as time wasted. There's no problem with practicing and failing while you practice. And really, there is no end zone that you need to get the touchdown in. It's just trial and error. And I understand that it's easy to be embarrassed, but it is a choice to be embarrassed. And if you don't act embarrassed, or you don't feel embarrassed yourself because you've done the work, to realize that it truly doesn't matter, and that the reason maybe you feel embarrassed is because of that original societal evolutionary pull to be included in everything. It's programmed. It's having, like, I always wondered, having toilet paper on your shoe, why is that so embarrassing to people? Like, everybody goes to the bathroom and it gets sticky in there. Like, there are some things that I just don't understand, and I refuse to understand because they don't make any sense. And I think a lot of people don't take the time to pick them apart and realize that. They just follow it because their mom was embarrassed for doing the same thing. So now they realize that it's embarrassing and I'm going to be embarrassed. So make the most of every moment you have. Zoom out, see how small you are, but also see that you, in this moment, are the only person that will ever experience the world exactly as it is to you from your perspective right now. This moment will never happen again in any capacity for anyone else ever. So cherish that fact. Even if it's a moment you don't like, it's your moment. Hold that close and work on seeing the beauty even in the rough things. You feel the full spectrum of human emotion, and that is what you're supposed to feel. You wouldn't feel enthralled if you didn't feel discouraged, and you certainly wouldn't enjoy the feeling if it's what you felt all the time. We need to be on this roller coaster of emotion, and we are so lucky to be. When I think about classical music and how it makes me feel sometimes very anxious, very down, very happy, very triumphant, very excited, very prideful, I can feel what the conductor and what the composer are trying to instill in me, and wow. We let those moments be beautiful. We seek it out, the music that makes us feel. So why not, in the moment of feel gratitude that you feel at all? What an incredible experience. Watch your narrative. Your brain is not you. Your thoughts, not your soul. You are the person watching the thoughts happening, and the thoughts are just a program of everything that you've ever heard in your life. And so just see it as silly, name it, whatever you need to do, but you need to learn to treat yourself differently and stop with the automatic negative thoughts. Observe yourself more, and when you hear those automatic thoughts, change them. Because you're not necessarily in control of the first thought. You're programmed. You've heard them all your life, and your brain automatically says that. It's a pattern-seeking organ. As amazing as it is, it's also amazing that you have neuroplasticity and you can change your patterns. So they're not your original thoughts. And the closer that you get to your soul and to your values and to your path of least regret, you understand yourself better, what matters to you, what brings meaning to you, what you truly care about. And once you know yourself in that way, and you know what the highest version of yourself looks like and operates like, you are able to distinguish that these thoughts are programmed thoughts, not thoughts that are natural to my soul. Therefore, I am going to turn them around with this positive thought next time. And you follow the negative thought with the positive thought, and soon enough, it becomes a habit to just think the positive thoughts, and hurrah, you have no idea how much better your life will be. Try it, I beg you. Be your own best friend. Talk to yourself nicely. When you're consoling a friend because something bad happened, or they mess up on something, you are always so kind, and you mean it. You mean it. Like, that little embarrassment didn't matter. Don't worry about it. You are perfect as you are. You are a wonderful person. In the grand scheme, this doesn't matter at all. And then if you did it, think about how you talk to yourself, how you're berating and putting yourself down and criticizing every little thing. Train your brain to do the opposite of that. Make your life so much more effortless. Allow yourself to let go and move forward from everything. There is no benefit of dwelling in the past, and there is no benefit in worrying about the future aside from realizing that you need to prepare for certain things and then doing it. So Even stress can be a beautiful thing. The way that we frame stress allows it to interact with our brains and our bodies in that way. If you see stress as stress is great for me because it forces me to do the things that I need to do, wonderful. But if you see stress as, oh my God, I can't handle it, it's bad for my body, of course your body is going to hear that. Your body hears everything. Your cells hear your thoughts. And if you're telling yourself you're unwell, you're going to be unwell. I promise you. It seems like a difficult thing to do, but all you have to do is be more aware and be more willing to be kind to yourself. Over time, it won't be even an effort to do so. Only compete with yourself. Every day, I am satisfied as long as I know that I am better than I was the day before. In some capacity, whether it was something silly like, oh, I didn't yell at my partner for doing this thing, or, oh, I faced my fear and I talked to that girl on the bench because she was reading a book that I love. Better every day should be the only goal. And if you're proud of yourself for at least one little thing every day and you take the moment to think about it, even as you're doing it, it's first of all the neurochemicals that come out like dopamine and serotonin and norepinephrine and everything, that you are granting yourself this beautiful gift of, I did it and I can do it and I will do it again because it was that great. So also, don't compete against other people, because especially when I was looking into med school and I was planning to go, and I was hearing all of these horrible stories about how everybody is so cutthroat with each other, it baffles me because I understand school rankings and whatnot, but you shouldn't have to bring somebody else down to bring yourself up, first of all. And second of all, there is enough room for success for everyone. We can all find a job that we love. We can all be in a place that we're happy. We all don't want the same things after all. You're assuming that everybody wants the same things as you, but you might want to move to Wisconsin and I can't stand the cold. So I'm not going to take your job. Let us both be happy in our definition of success. Realize that everybody's definition of success is different, and so their success can't take away from your success because it's a completely different animal. You're on a different plane. And everyone's journey is different. So even if you feel like you're behind your friends because you haven't gotten a job out of college or anything silly like that, your path is operating exactly as it should. You are learning exactly what you need to be learning. And as long as you're conscious and you're actively learning every day and becoming better every day, you're doing the right thing. I promise it will all work out. So when you find yourself struggling with personalities that don't necessarily align with yours, I need you to think about this human nature that we all share, that throughout all of these experiences that we all have had, which nobody escapes a difficult life. Nobody has sunshine and roses every day, all days. And yes, their version of trauma might be a lighter version than yours, but it is still trauma, and it is still hurt people hurting people. And if you remind yourself that you don't know what people have been through, and you know this one fact, that everybody just wants to be happy, everybody just wants to feel loved, everybody just wants to be understood, then even the people that are rubbing you the wrong way and saying the things that don't really align with your belief systems, can't you give them a little compassion and a little grace? And perhaps a little understanding that if they're trying to hurt people, they were probably hurt too, and they're probably still hurt. So we can't force everyone to heal, but we can give them our compassion. And it's not just great for them, it is more great for you to just be able to let go of that semblance of control that you can help other people. They need to be on their own journey. They're exactly where they need to be, and you are exactly where you need to be. And it doesn't mean you need to spend time with the people that drain you. In fact, you should not. But to understand is to love. You don't have love without understanding, and to understand that we all need love and we all just want to be happy. Bring yourself back to that anytime you're annoyed with someone, and hold up a mirror to yourself, because oftentimes the things that we get annoyed about or the things that we're mad about are things that we've done and we don't like about ourselves, or things that we're actively doing and don't like about ourselves. And it can be really eye-opening. So hold some space for self-reflection in those times too. Use it as an opportunity to learn this beautiful lesson that life is trying to give you. Nothing is personal, okay? Remember that, of course, from our brains, we are the center of the universe. And the ego is great in the sense that it keeps us alive because self-preservation. But the ego is also, at least to me, one of the reasons why we have all of these painful things like war and like hatred. And it's a really powerful thing. And you can't have ego without fear. And if you choose love, because everything is either love or fear, you can look at it as an umbrella. You have anger, fear, sadness, fear. And love can be misdefined oftentimes in our society because it's conditional. The love that I'm talking about is the unconditional love and the unconditional understanding of human nature and wanting everybody to be happy, even if you don't want to be a part of that happiness. So, yes, remember, you're not as in the spotlight as you think you are. That is a psychological concept that we have proven. And anytime you need proof, think about how little you think about other people. Don't assign painful meanings to things that have nothing to do with you. So don't waste your time being angry that it rained for your pool party because it has nothing to do with you. Move forward, choose something enjoyable to do, pivot, and have a great time. You've gathered all of your friends here. Enjoy. You have all of the snacks. Enjoy. It can be beautiful. It can be fun. It can be something you laugh about for years. Yet you're choosing to wallow in self-pity and to be mad at nature, which is hilarious because we have no way of controlling that and very slim chance of predicting it. So everyone should realize that it's not about you. It's about you learning from it, for sure. It's about you doing what you can to make other people feel loved and doing what you can to fulfill your purpose and understand yourself and all of those things. But it's not about you when they say something that offends you. It's not about you when you're rubbed the wrong way. Well, actually, it is about you because, like I said, people can be a mirror. But it's not about you because the people are saying these things from their own perspective, and sometimes their perspective doesn't see that as a rude comment, like at all, I'm telling you. And you take it as a rude comment and therefore are hurt for the rest of the night or lose a friend, where you could really just communicate and say, here's how it's showing up for me. I just wanted to bring that to you because your friendship's important to me, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't seeing it in the wrong way. Like, how are you seeing this same interaction? Inevitably, it will be different than you thought, and you will feel such relief, and you will maintain a friendship. Communication is one of the most important things, and it is one of the biggest things that has made us as humans the most successful species. So, wow, where would we be without communication? We wouldn't be able to cooperate, and cooperation and all of us working together for common causes is the only way we've made it this far. So please don't give up on that, especially if it's just fear, because communicating is to love, to understand is to love. And you can't understand unless you communicate. You can't make other people communicate, but you can always be responsible for your half of any relationship. You can always do the communicating, and you can always hope to share that, the importance of communicating. We can't expect people to be like us. We can't expect people to think of us the way that we think of them. We can't expect people to pack us snacks like you would pack them snacks. That's a silly example, but it's beautiful that we're all different. We would be so bored if we weren't. And the overthinking is only hurting you, even if you feel hurt by someone else. Same as holding a grudge and not forgiving. Letting go is the purest thing you can do, and you don't have to go to that person and forgive them. Really, you don't. But if you think that you holding this grudge for someone when they're probably not thinking of you and they've moved forward, you're hurting yourself. You're actually hurting your cells. You're hurting your organs and your systems, and you're putting stress on something that doesn't need to be there anymore. You've moved forward. This isn't your life anymore, and you can't change it. So let go, acknowledge, be grateful for the lessons, and be grateful that you'll never go through that again, because you simply won't let it happen. Joy is a choice. Everything is perspective. When you are feeling a certain way, step back, be the observer of the thoughts. You have the power to change how you see things and interact with everything around you. So be more aware of your thoughts, be more aware of your perspective and how limited it is, and choose to fill your life up with joy. Aim for balance, aim for health. Be patient with yourself, and be patient with the work that you're doing to better yourself. It's maybe that the days feel long, but when you look back weeks later or years later, you can't believe that you used to live that way, because you're so much happier now. That's what I want for you. Thank you so much. I'm a life coach. I am trying to make a community of like-minded people that are ready to grow together, ready to be vulnerable together. I do public speaking. I work in a neuroscience lab, and I really just want to help the world be a happier and healthier place. I'm even trying to create my own perfect elixir of morning and evening drink, because I'm so sick of having a cabinet full of pills, and I want everybody to have it easy to be healthy. I want all of the busy bees to be able to pick up a drink and get all of the nutrients that they need. I just want you to be happy and healthy, and if there's anything that I can do to bring you there, that's why I'm here. I used to fear public speaking. It was probably up there as one of the worst. And why? Now that I understand my biology, and now that I understand that my purpose is way more important than my fear, and my purpose is clearly to help people with all of these perspective shifts and growth and finding health and happiness as a choice. It's been me, Sammy Stoltz, and I'd love for you to check out my website, my podcast. ShineInAndOut.com is the web app that I'm creating to be your life's best dashboard. If you want to follow my coaching website and my blog there, as well as some recommended products that I can't live without, that would be ShineInAndOutCoaching.com. Same as the email. And reach out if you have any questions. I'm here for you. Please comment if anything clicked for you, and don't be afraid to change your life.